to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
Thank you for coming on the show today.
It's my pleasure. What an honor to be here, Sparkle. Thank you for having me.
Well, you've been here, but you're usually walking the catwalk.
Yes. Which I love to do, too.
So you model, you teach, you're the mayor. What else do you do?
I love to bake, love to dance, and want to get involved even more with the community and do special projects now that I've retired from teaching.
So what made you decide this was the year you're going to retire?
Education's changing, and I'm very old school, and so my sister's been teaching 34 years, and she's of age to retire. I'm not there yet, folks, but
you retired early?
I retired early because I wanted to go with my sister. I did not want her to leave me there. We've been at the same school together, teaching in the same grade level, and so that's kind of what really was my final decision. And being mayor and teaching's been very hard because I'm locked in from 7 to 3. And a lot happens during the day that I can't really take care of because of my profession.
Yeah, you're like missing all the big...
I am. I'm not at meetings. I'm not at the table when we need to make decisions. And in between recess and lunch, I can kind of answer some phone calls and questions. But other than that, I'm contracted to teach kids.
That's rough.
Oh. It was. But now I'm all in. Watch out, City of Madera. I'm full-time mayor, getting some things done.
But that's cool that you made it for, I mean, you actually balanced it for quite some time because you used to be in the city council.
Yes, I'm the longest standing elected, but not by age, but by years. I've been on the council a decade now.
So you're still on city council?
Yes.
But now you're, so wow, you get to be on both at the same time?
Yes.
That is, how does that work?
It's difficult. I stay up to 1 o'clock in the morning every night trying to get everything done when I'm done teaching and answer emails, answer texts, you name it. And now full-time being the mayor is going to be a challenge.
Because you were happy just being on city council.
I was.
They forced you to be. Well, like, so
they did. They were like, come on, Cece, you can do it. You can win this. You can win this. And I'm like, I will run for mayor. Let me retire, because I hadn't planned on retiring for another probably 4 more years. Because I love what I do. I make a difference. Students are changing, parents are changing, the whole system's changing. So I do, this is like, and I'm going to pray to God. He's going to lay down a plan for me, but I would like to work for our new governor in November, if it's the right one, to really give him an insight on education and having really to change it and flip it, because in order to change things, we're going to have to go to zero tolerance, Sparkle. I mean, there's so much happening to our kids, and those are our future leaders that are going to be running our cities and our states.
And it's hard because so much is changing. And the thing is, everyone that has like you said, well, whoever our governor is, has had kids, in the system, but then it's like everything changes each year. So if their kids are like out of like elementary school already, you see everything that's changing year by year, and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's going to get scarier and scarier. And they aren't aware because they're not in it like you are every day.
Correct.
Oh my goodness. So what are some things that somebody like me has no idea what's going on that's really scary?
In the school system, it would be kids that are getting away with a lot of emotional behaviors that shouldn't be in the school systems. We have a lot of teachers that are being knocked down, and I would say even abused in a way where they're not being protected. Education, I feel, is we're testing our kids, and we're losing the whole fact about teaching them. A lot of, as teaching, I feel my first few months are on common sense, just things that should be happening at home that I'm now teaching as an educator and not as a parent. It should be coming from the family. We've lost a lot of those values that come from the home that now you're asking educators to do.
Well, how can you do that? Because it's really hard if your parents are teaching one way and then your teacher's teaching you another way. Where's the conflict? Like, what's happening?
The conflict is, I tell students that I have you more than your parents. And they're there with me from 8 to 3, and then a lot of our students go to after-school program and they go home at 6. They go home, have dinner, take a bath, and do some homework and go to bed by 8, 9, and then they're back at school again. And so I feel the real shift here will have to be educating parents and how to become parents and how they have to give their kids time, because we're not giving our kids time. We're putting it on devices. That's our number one thing. Kids are just so entranced by devices that they're forgetting how to talk to people, how to even write, how to read. We got to put books back in kids' hands and not a tablet. That's how I feel was a big change. For me, I'm very old school. Just even having a ball cap inside the classroom, I just like, ooh, respect. You walk in the room, you take it off. And a lot of parents don't have issues with that. And it is something that we've always been raised to be respectful when you're in somebody else's room in any building that you go in. We've created student rights, which I understand kids need rights, but if they're in my classroom and they're misbehaving and they're going to say, oh, Miss Gallegos, I have rights. Well, so do we as teachers, and our right is to make sure that you get your education, so you need to sit down and listen. And so there's a lot of issues that I think that are going on that we really need to clean up and change.
But at the end of the day, who gets more in trouble, if the kid hits you or if you hit the kid?
I would think if we hit the kid.
Exactly. So it's like, that's why it's like, It's very scary. It's a very scary time to be a teacher because of all of that.
And for me, Sparkle, was hard because I taught through COVID and we were the heroes. Teachers were all heroes in these communities in the state of California. We were heroes. And then when COVID, we got kids back into the school systems and back into the classrooms, then again, we were the bad guys. It's like we didn't win either way. But it didn't stop me from doing what I do because I love educating kids. I love seeing them learn to read and write and add and subtract and just their knowledge, just like taking it all in.
Wow. All right, so now your other hat is how does it work? And I'm sure you're very influential because of your experience. Helped a lot in the political landscape. How is your role as mayor now?
It is still difficult, I feel, because I'm a woman of color, Hispanic, and I think that is hard. Some of my colleagues, I think, are having a hard time with that. But that is something that I'm just having to overcome. I've had to overcome it as being an elected period in our community. I think for me, when I say something, I have to back it up with knowledge. If one of my male colleagues says something, there's no knowledge that has to come with it. Like when I answer a question, I have to say, and history has shown, and this is what we've done in the past. And then it's like, oh, okay, let's talk about it then, Mayor. So for that, it's very hard for me, and I struggle with that, but I keep chomping at it. My mission is I don't have a personal agenda. My mission is all about what's best for our community. And that's where I stand. And it's not a personal mission, it's a community mission to make it better than I found it. And I feel that I'm doing that with the help of my colleagues, the ones that have left and the new ones that have come into the council. One thing I really pushed was a fire station. We hadn't built one in 40 years. We passed Measure K, and because of the citizens saying yes to that measure, we were able to build a new one. 40 years. It should not take that long.
So what was wrong in the first place?
It's just we don't have the tax base for it, because that's what really, you have new buildings or new facilities, and most of our budget goes to fire and police and a little portion of recreation for our parks and for that, but most of our budget goes for that. So to put money aside to build a fire station, we've been trying to, but it's quite a bit of money. And we did not have a fire truck that even would take out a fire 2 stories.
No.
So with Measure K fund, again, the citizens, we were able to buy a fire truck. We have more citizens that have police protection because it's supposed to be 1 police officer for every 1,000 residents. So we have about 65,000 residents in the city of Madera, and we have 70 sworn officers. So because of Measure K, we're able to hire more police. We have body cams that come from Measure K. We have more police cars. 911 system, we did not know as council members and mayor how we were going to afford to pay for the 911 system. But because of Measure K, it was like, woo! We put away dollars little by little, and we're able to buy a new 911 system that has helped this community tremendously. And we could have never done it without the citizens. The fire station it was in my district, so I had a lot of say on what happened when we built it. So I got to name it. It's called the People Station, because the people built it with their tax dollars that they said yes to.
Wow, I mean, I love when you guys tell me these things. It's just mind-blowing. No one ever thinks, oh, wow, you didn't even know how you were going to pay for the 911 system and stuff. And these are like the stresses that
or the roads, or improvement on parks. We have a new city manager that we hired, but he was like my number one all the way. He's born and raised in Madera, and he's been there 7 years. And I gave him a 3-page list, little print, of all the things that needed to be work in Madera, that needed to change. And he's gone through like 2 pages of it. And we're just knocking it out of the park, Sparkle. And it takes, what was hard for me going from being a mom and in the school system to becoming an elective was government takes a while to get anything done.
Nobody understands this how long, so it's like
They don't. And for me, I'll stay up all night. If I have to stay up all night, 5 days a week to get this project done, I'll do it. But in government, there's a process. There's red tape.
I don't even understand that sometimes when people are not in office anymore, that things are finally getting done that they had set up when they were there. So
and
wow.
it took us we have a main Yosemite, which Caltrans own. We're doing a downtown project, $26 million to repave the road, put some medium islands, roundabouts. And in this downtown, people don't realize that when we built a big supermarket, Rancho San Miguel, it took us 11 years to get the stoplight. And people are like, what do you mean it took 11 years? It takes a long time.
So funny.
We're trying to widen an area in the city over the railroad tracks. That's been an 8-year project. Because you have to deal with the Union Pacific. You're having to deal
that part
with,
makes sense.
It's a lot of partners that go into making decisions, and it's very difficult. And I think the community doesn't realize that takes time to get things done.
Well, I do love seeing how Madera has grown. I definitely have spent more time there. I like all the new housing communities, and I think it's a great, I've actually wanted to live, there or whatever. I've thought about it because I think it's such a great little communities within communities that you guys have built.
It is, and I feel safe. Our police department hits it out of the park. I mean, if you're going to do a crime in the city of Madera, you better make sure that you think you have a way out, because we get you. We will, again, this is one thing PD does like I'm doing. We will stay up day and night, whatever it takes, 5-7 days a week to get that person, whoever makes a crime in the city of Madera. We are right on it.
Wow. Well, I know you just said that there were challenges, you being female, you're getting your voice heard, but people obviously like you and wanted you to be in that seat because they elected city, and obviously they're like, okay, we want you to be better. So I feel like you are getting the support. And what are some of the great things that people are coming to you and saying why they like you so much? You've mentioned a lot of things that you've done. What are some of the other responses?
I think I get a lot of respect because I've raised my kids in the city of Madera. They remember me even as a student and a child. I was always involved in Campfire 4-H. I did this with my kids. I've raised a lot of other people's children as being their teachers. 33 years is a long time. I've gone through a lot of students. And I think my reputation says it all. I say what I mean. I don't play around. I don't lie. You see what you get, Sparkle. This is me, and I will do whatever it takes. If it's a heavy lift, if you have an ask. A lot of what our community doesn't realize is if they want something in the community done, I could want it with all my heart, but if I don't have 3 other council members saying yes, I can't move that mountain. That mountain stays stationed. I mean, it has to be 4 people to say yes to get anything done in the city.
And you guys all get along.
There's issues. We try to get along. And people I feel a lot of my colleagues have personal agendas, and they're not always doing what's best for what our community needs. Even though I know they're passionate and I understand their views and what they want, but is it the best for our community? That's how I look at it.
Wow, that's going to be interesting. Just 4 people. That's really small.
Yes. Because we're a council of 7, so 4 have to say yes. And if you have 3, it doesn't work. And I think when we went to districts, most cities our size are only 5. And 5's manageable.
I know. I am surprised that it is that big.
It's like Fresno. Fresno, you guys are big. You're 750,000 people. You have 7. But for us, it was when we redistrict, a lot of the council members wanted to stay on council. So in order to do that, they had to go to a district of 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how it works.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So so there's a lot of different dynamics. You guys aren't all friends at the end of the day. You guys don't go and break bread.
No, not always. It used to be that way. It used to be that way.
After the meetings, everyone goes their separate ways.
Yes, now it does, which is sad because it never was like that before.
Oh, wow. This is just so interesting. So what now are you looking for to accomplish? Like you said, there's 3 pages. You banged off 2 pages of the list. What's the next big hurdles? Like, you're like, before I die, before I leave office, before all this, I really want this.
Well, there's 3 things I'm working on now until December.
Okay.
My mentor, Jim Talbert, put in place a graffiti education program in every school in Madera Unified. And every 3rd grader would receive this kind of a skit drama about graffiti and why we don't want to keep our city clean. But when COVID hit, we stopped because we were not in the school. We couldn't get in the schools. All the kids were online and on computers. So in the meantime, our city has been running a little lean on trying to keep above water and not go into the red, in which we haven't done. And so being retired, I have the time now. I'm designing it with my chief right now, chief of police, a new graffiti/litter program to keep our city clean. So I'll be going into all the schools. Every third grader in Madera Unified will see the mayor at their school and our team talking about keeping our city clean. So that's the first one this fall that I'll be kicking off. The second thing is my brother is a retired parks director from Kerman, and because I'm in the school, it's been really hard for me to kick off, but he's been championing and starting a Hometown Hero Veteran Banners program. He put it in place in Kerman years ago. And Sparkle, I've been trying to do this for 10 years, but not being the mayor, I don't really have a lot of weight. So once I became mayor, we have been working on this Veteran Hometown Hero Banners program that we're going to probably kick off hopefully by this fall too.
So what's that going to entail?
The community has either a family member who's active in the military, a family member who's passed away, or a family member who's a veteran in the city right now. They purchase the banner and we hang them from Veterans Day to Memorial Day throughout the city.
Oh, okay.
So it's just honoring our hometown heroes in Madera.
Right on. So what's the third thing?
The third thing is a mayor's Christmas concert. So I'm thinking my partners with PG are going to align with me, and we're going to get some of our churches that have some music groups that are just hitting it out of the park. I'm going to kick it off with and end it with the Madera South Choir, who is amazing to hear sing. My nephew,
you actually sing?
Not me.
Oh, okay, you're the dancer.
I do sing. I used to sing like in my students, but I don't sing like professionally or with a choir. They could probably work with me, but my nephew is the choir teacher director at Madera South, and he's already, kind of partner with me on kicking it off and having other groups come in and sing, and just free, bring it for the community, something to bring us together at that time of year. And so those are the three things I'll be working on between now and December.
Wow.
Yeah. And have some other things on the list that are going to happen after the new year. So I have a lot on my list, and now that I have that opportunity, I'm like hitting the ground running. And I have 3 grandbabies that I'm going to make some time for them too.
How old are they?
2 months, 3 years, and 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You seem to have a lot of energy.
I do. I'm like, ooh. Yes.
Your kids must have loved you as a teacher.
And yes. And I can tell you things that we did that were like amazing. My daughter's exactly 30 years younger than me. She's like, Mom, I'm not even half of what you have. I think it was just, I've always been this way since day one. And I will run like an energy bunny. Woo, get stuff done, whatever it takes. And whoever needs it, I'm there for them.
So you mentioned Kerman. Where exactly did you grow up in?
Madera.
So you grew up in Madera, but then your brother moved to Kerman.
No, my brother lived in Madera. He he worked for Parks and Rec here in Madera for years, but he was at the point of advancing, and our park director here had been here for years, so they offered him a job in Kerman and went to Kerman. My parents were in Madera, and because of their health, he didn't really want to move to Kerman. Kerman is such a great community, but he was involved in their Rotary Club, their Kiwanis, the Lions Club. He was all in. He just didn't live there because of our family. We were all in Madera, and so they even named a park after him.
How do you get so involved with Kerman?
Again, a lot of Madera people are working there.
Yeah,
the city manager was there, Ron Manfredi, and he said, "Hey, Phil, come work for us," and he did. And the things my brother did there was amazing enough to. We have a Philip Gallegos Park place now in Kerman. And my mom got to see it before she passed. So that for us was just a testament to all the hard work that our family has put in to our communities that we so much love.
Wow. So what did your parents do?
My parents both worked 40 years for Madera Unified. And I used to tell people, I'm not working 40 years. 40 years, Sparkle, both of them.
You guys all became educators?
Yes,
That's crazy.
My mom started as a school secretary and then ended up being the administrative assistant to student services at district office. My dad started as a janitor and a bus driver and ended up being the locksmith for the whole district. 40 years, both of them.
Talk about
amazing.
Full circle. What about your kids? Did any of them become educators?
I have one that's a counselor for Central Unified. My other daughter is a material engineer in San Jose. We don't have things here in the Valley for her.
Yeah.
So she had to go to the Bay or LA, which was kind of sad for me because I really wanted my kids all to stay here. And my son is an electrician engineer for a company and does 150 cattle on the side for fun.
What an impressive family. Well, this is really delightful. Thank you so much. Is there any event coming up that you want to invite the community to, or that's coming up this summer? Anything
Well, we're doing Mad Kid Camp. Our PD puts a big old camp for our kids in the community, and all our officers are running it. So it's kind of like exciting. And we partner with a lot of community members to go in and educate our kids with other things that happen throughout the community. That's our big, everybody looks for our Mad Kid Camp that happens in the summer. They're like, woo! So that's like our next event happening soon.
Wow. So awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I'll have you back like around Christmas and you can tell me all that I can't even, if I could keep up with you, yes, come on back.
Thank you, Sparkle. It's an honor. Thank you for having me. And we, love Madera. I'm going to champion it that we are hometown pride. That's what we are. We take pride in our hometown. I might move there
one day. We'll see.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on my show today.
Thank you for having me.
And nobody gave you the memo, but you're wearing my favorite color, blue.
I was very excited to see that I, got the memo.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I love that you're running for judge. By the way, I just want to say there's a lot of beautiful ladies running for judge this term, and I was just I think it's really cool.
Thank you.
So what inspired you to run?
That was always my path. Going into law school, my eventual path was always going to be going to the bench, and this turned out to be the right time.
Really? I never hear people say that often. That was always the goal. Why is that?
It was sort of I wanted to do all of the groundwork, right, to get to that point, and that would be, the pinnacle of my career. I wanted to do everything to experience what attorneys go through, what parties go through, and what they need, what the community needs on the bench.
That's very smart. That was definitely a good way to go. Now you see how hard that is, and you're like, oh my gosh, they go through so much.
Yes.
So give us some examples. What kind of law do you practice?
I'm a prosecutor, so criminal law my entire career. Straight out of law school, I went to the Fresno County District Attorney's Office. I was actually Lisa Smitkamp's first hire when she came into office. She came in 2014. I was her first hire in 2015. So I spent just over 10 years at the Fresno District Attorney's Office. I was a senior deputy district attorney. I went through misdemeanors to juvenile, general felonies, the violent crime unit, domestic violence, MAGIC, the multi-agency gang enforcement consortium. I was simultaneously on the officer-involved shooting team and in custody death team. I did numerous preliminary hearings, jury trials, grand juries, several wire investigations, and then I received a call from my former partner from the violent crime unit, Andrew Jans, and he's the Fresno City Attorney, and he asked me to come over and help form and supervise their criminal prosecution unit. So now I am the supervisor, the chief prosecuting attorney at the Fresno City Attorney's Office.
Wow, that was such a mouthful. I'd love to see you as a judge.
Thank you.
So you've seen a lot of hard stuff.
Yes.
What's it been like, especially because I know you have children?
Yes.
So how do you seem actually really good at separating, like wearing one hat and putting off the other? But what was it like getting to that point?
Yes, I naturally, I'm very good at compartmentalizing. So, I'm prosecutor by day and mom by morning and night and, on the weekends. So I'm really good at compartmentalizing the work portion of my life and the home portion of my life.
But it's got to hurt you sometimes, especially when you see a lot of these cases, because you've seen the worst of the worst. That's a side of law you went in to really see just terrible, terrible things happening.
Yes, and especially after having kids, when there are children that are victims of crimes, those are particularly difficult difficult to see and to experience, to go through with the families. I had a particularly difficult case where an 8-month-old little girl was shot. It was a gang shooting, and an 8-month-old little girl was shot, and extremely tragic, right? But in the law, you have to put aside the emotions in it, and you need to still have compassion and respect and understanding for everyone, but you still have to do your job, right? And compartmentalize enough to follow the law, have compassion for everyone, but still do your job.
It must have made it kind of easier sometimes to go after people when you did see that there were kids involved. Did you at least have a little bit of that personal, like, if this is my kid, I'm gonna fight for this situation as if it is?
I would say that to some extent, I handled every case that way, right? Like, if this was my family member, this is what I would want for them. I would want someone to do everything they could to do the right thing, to make sure that justice was served. So I like to think of it as I have spent my entire career advocating for victims and honoring the Constitution, for speaking for victims who would otherwise not have a voice for themselves. And I want to continue that path in honoring the Constitution, but this time I want to administer justice, right? Instead of advocating for it, I want to follow the law and administer justice.
Wow. And so who inspired you to run during at this time? Because you are still kind of young, and I know it popped up that there were a lot of seats available, but were you kind of surprised, like, oh, I guess this is going to be my time now, or you were just kind of ready and like, oh, thank goodness this is coming right now?
So I'll say ready is relative, right? Because I knew I wanted this. I knew this is the path that I was going to go down. But the person that really inspired me is the Honorable Judge Jonathan Conklin. He retired just recently in February. I didn't choose this spot arbitrarily. I chose seat 6 very purposefully. Judge Jonathan Conklin is, for our legal community, the best metaphor I could give is he's truly the Michael Jordan of the legal community. Everyone loves him. But whether you're prosecution or defense, everyone loves Judge Jonathan Conklin. He's the epitome of what we want on the bench. He has unwavering fairness, respect for everyone, the utmost integrity, and he's been my mentor throughout my career.
That's really good.
So when I discovered that he was going to retire, that his seat was going to be open, it was very symbolic for me to put him for his seat, with his support, with his endorsement, to go for that seat.
Wow. And that must be great that you have his, like, hey, let's do this.
Yes, it is. It's a huge honor to have his support.
And that kind of definitely, knowing that you had that, you're like, okay, now I could do this because he wants me in that spot. What about some of your mentors? Like you mentioned Lisa Smith-Camp and Andrew Jans. What did they have to tell you? What advice did they give you?
They've also both been amazing, both in my career, my everyday life as a prosecutor, and also during this campaign. They both have been incredibly supportive and helping guide me through the campaign. The campaign life it's a completely different world. It's so different. My arena is in the courtroom and in the arena because I'm a horseback rider. But
really, okay.
Yes, but it is not in this political world. And so learning this new world, it's like learning an entirely new area of law. And so I'm very grateful to Ms. McCamp and to Mr. Jans for their guidance.
I imagine, oh my goodness, especially because do you feel like the law is very black or white with a lot of things?
There are some laws that are black and white, right? And then there are other laws where there are exceptions within those laws. So it's sort of, that's the lawyer answer, but it's true. It sort of depends.
And then politics is not black or white at all. So you're just like,
no. Yes, I'm still learning the ropes. I'm sure it's an ever-learning journey, just like the law, but it's an arena that's entirely new to me, and I'm very grateful for the support that I've received along the way.
What are some of the fun things you've learned, some of the good things that you've learned in this?
The support and the turnout. I was told that before I put in. I spoke to many judges before I actually put my name in, and I was told, you are going to be surprised by the people that show up for you, and you are going to be surprised by the people that don't show up for you. And there has been overwhelming support and people that have stood up for me and shown up to events and, you know, sent a text message or called me or asked me, hey, let's go for coffee, let's go for lunch. And that has been very, very heartwarming to know that I've developed these relationships. I've made an impact on people's lives throughout my career just by doing my job and caring, and that has shown up in this campaign.
And what about like some of the people that you've actually, as a prosecutor, some of the people that you've helped along the way?
Yes, there are. So for the most part, there is, you know, you handle the case and you do what you can for that case, and then you separate, you know, where there are some cases where I still have contact with the victims after the case is done, and they have been incredibly supportive of my new path and the campaign.
Oh, wow. How exciting. So how many more days do you have to go for this?
Oh, I guess I should have a countdown on the days. I don't have the countdown on the days, but we have about 5 months to go. So it's a long road, but it's a short road, right? It's over each day is long, but in the blink of an eye, we're going to be to November 3rd.
And you did well in the primary.
Thank you. Yes.
So how does it feel like when you do that and then they're like, well, don't get all like comfortable about that. You still have a whole new, like, how are you dealing with that?
Yes. Okay. So I will say that I'm very, very humbled and grateful for the trust and the support that the Fresno County voters, you know, showed up for me in the primary election. I'm so thankful for everyone who got out and voted. I'm thankful for everyone who's volunteered for the campaign, who's encouraged our campaign. Like you said, we still have a long way to go. We still have a lot of work ahead of us, and I am looking forward to continuing the journey and reaching out to more voters, getting to know more people, letting people get to know me, and encouraging them to do their homework, to look at the candidates, look at our background, look at who we are as people and our values and our judicial temperament. So I am looking forward to continuing that.
Were you surprised how well you did in the primary, or you're kind of like...
I don't know if... It's hard to say, right? I am so grateful for the endorsements I have and the support I have, and that has been a result of...
You never know until it happens.
You never know, right?
Like,
I'm so grateful, but I think it's always, in every walk of life, best to prepare for the worst and celebrate the best, right? So it was certainly a moment to celebrate, and then we took a little bit to regroup, and now we're back at it.
Well, I think what was really hard for you, there were so many, and everyone's like, I don't know who these people are.
Right.
If you were handing me, and so some people might just look at it and be like, okay, well, we're going to vote for the man, or we're going to vote for this name or that. And so there are a lot of people that vote like that because they don't know who you are.
Right.
So that must have been something hard too.
Exactly. It's an uphill battle for judicial candidates because unless you're in the legal community, you don't know, you don't know us, you don't know our name, you don't know our faces, you don't know anything about us. We stay relatively private, and so no one knew our names, and there were 7 open seats. So there were, all of a sudden, for Fresno County voters, a ton of names. Oh
yeah, I bet you had a very private presence before this.
Yes.
With the kind of job that... the kind of cases that you had.
I mean, we had, prior to the park, we hadn't met before.
Right. Oh my goodness. I never thought about that. How you had to be like so, especially in your particular field. It was like you didn't want people knowing who you are, where you live, that you have kids.
Yes.
And so horseback riding.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I've been a horseback rider my entire life. I'm a huge animal lover, a huge advocate of animal rescue. My parents both grew up horseback riding. And so, from the time I was very young, I was riding, and I've had horses almost my entire life. I still have horses. We're now introducing our children into riding. I think it's a great family activity. It's wonderful to teach children, respect for other living beings and hard work. I used to get up in the morning before school and go feed my horses, go to school, come back and take care of the horses. So I think it's great to teach discipline and kindness and compassion.
Well, that is great. Well, I'm so happy for you. I voted for you.
Thank you.
I made all my friends, but they said, we don't know who these people are.
Thank you.
Well, this one, that one, whatever.
Thank you.
And I wish you the best of luck. Is there any events coming up that we can go and kind of see you to meet and greet some of those things you're talking about?
So right now, last day of June, but June and July it's a little bit slower in terms of the campaign. I'm still going to events when I can. There was a Kingsburg concert. every Thursday night throughout the summer, Kingsburg has a lovely concert in the park. So I was at that last Thursday. I don't have an exact plan of what my next event will be. I'm happy to keep in touch with you and share those, but I don't have right now what my next event will be.
Where can people follow you at now that you do have some profiles going on?
Yes, Ashley Paulson for Judge. I have Instagram, Facebook, and then paulsonforjudge.com is my website. And
you're great at telling us where you'll be.
Yes.
And yes, if anyone wants to donate, then they can go to the website and see whatever.
Yes, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of finances to be able to get your name out there because, like you said, no one knows who we are, and so we want to get the message out to Fresno County voters, what my background is, my experience, and what I'll bring to the bench.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It was awesome.
You do a lot of cool stuff. I met you first doing a movie.
Yeah, we did. We probably can't say a whole lot about it, but we did some freaky stuff in the woods. We did some strange
You made this
activity.
sound so much worse than it is.
It wasn't that far. Yeah, we did a little horror film, a little low budget movie, and that's kind of the world that I'm in. But yeah.
Okay, so how did you get into this strange world of horror?
So I guess, it started, I'm from Iowa originally, grew up in Iowa City, moved out here to California when I was about 18. I went to drama school, so I was an actor for a long time originally. But yeah, I lived in LA, I lived in Hollywood, like right off Hollywood Boulevard for like 2 years and gave my parents heart attacks. And then, ended up, I was always kind of writing stuff and eventually I was writing things. I was always writing things for me to act in, and then eventually I was writing stuff that there wasn't a part for me, and I was like, maybe I'm also just a writer. So I started writing and directing little short films and stuff.
It all bleeds into each other.
It's all the same muscles. So I've been kind of the last 5 or 6 years. I've been really kind of in the low budget indie horror kind of thing. So that's what I'm.
So why'd you move to Fresno then?
I met a girl in LA. Yeah, met a girl. She's from here, moved up here. COVID messed up the industry. Everything was shut down, and we were all broke, so we moved up here to kind of land on our feet a little bit. But there's such a great community here of film
you're close to everything. I go to LA all the time.
It's up, down, and then there's just this great little pocket of creative people here that are always there's always people doing stuff here.
There's a lot of weirdos here, yes.
There's a lot of weirdos here. There's one of them two of them right here.
Let's be real. Two of them right here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the film right now. So what are you doing right currently?
So I got two things I'm kind of working on right now. There's one is a friend of mine in LA who's kind of an actor, influencer kind of guy. He had an idea for a kind of comedy slashery kind of thing that we're doing that's sort of about influencers. So I probably shouldn't say too much because we're talking to people about that.
There's a lot of people that want to kill those.
Yep, that's
funny.
You'll love it. But so we're working on that right now. Just finished up the second draft of the script, and we're going to start sending it around to some people. He knows a bunch of random influencer people that we're hoping to kind of grab onto. And
they'll probably love it.
Yeah, I think we're going to start sending it around. I think people are really going to like it. It's really funny. It's messed up, of course, but it's really funny.
I love funny horror.
Yes.
They don't do that anymore now.
I'll have to send it to you. I think you'll really like it. And then I'm kind of working on a low-budget feature, low-budget indie horror movie. Hoping to shoot it here in the Valley, kind of local Fresno talent, behind the scenes, in front of the camera kind of thing. But we're starting the financing process for that, and it's sort of, it's impossible. So it's a process, but we're in the middle of it right now. So hopefully we can get that going. I'd love to be shooting it this year, but we'll have to see just how quickly we can get the money for it. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love that you're doing all of this stuff. Yeah. What is some of the stuff that we could see you in that's out?
Well, I had a couple little like appearances, extra stuff, short films, a lot of short films while I was in LA, a lot of like student film kind of stuff. So, and I'm sure you've had this experience where like you're working on it, you go shoot it, and then you never hear back. They don't give you your footage. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. They cut your stuff, whatever. So I've got like my old reel that's kind of like, cut together or whatever. But I haven't really acted in a whole lot. The thing that you and I did recently was the first thing I'd acted in a couple of years.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the COVID had just ended, so I think it kind of like had died down a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was right when COVID started. I was a couple of friends of mine were gonna go do a little low budget movie, and then COVID hit. We were, I think, 2 weeks out, and then COVID hit. And then one of the lead actors, I texted him, I was like, hey man, I think we can still do it. We got to test this and that, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, I just moved back to Colorado, so I'm not gonna be in it. I was like, thanks for the heads up.
No.
So that fell apart. It's been a couple of things that have like almost gone. You know, a couple of short films or a couple of features where, you know, we were fundraising it and then somebody whatever pulled out, or there was one I was working on that was like an internet like kind of urban legend thing, and then I was fundraising that, and then the guy who invented the urban legend messaged me and was like, oh, by the way, a studio bought this, so you can't be fundraising this because you can't own this at all. And I was like,
like a studio actually bought the urban legend?
They bought the website that it started on or something. So
that is wild. I didn't even know that you could do that.
Completely went away. And I was like, I'd been working on it for however many months, and then it was kind of like I did think it was kind of a funny, cool little Hollywood thing where I was like, oh, a studio shut me down. That's kind of cool. But you know,
well,
it still was terrible.
What happens in a situation like that if you are raising money for something, but then that project doesn't?
I just suspended the campaign. What it ended up doing is
But the money you already raised.
Well, it was a situation where we were fundraising it on a site where they don't give you until you reach your goal. They don't. Give you
so
the
nobody.
money. So
it wasn't like
a bunch of
anything.
people pledged money, and then the guy messaged me, and I had to suspend the campaign.
So everyone got their money back.
Everyone got their money back. It never even made it into my pocket. So, and we had kind of just started fundraising, so it was like, oh well, this died before it began, but it was okay. It ended up, a lot of the stuff that was in that, because I was never going to be able to use it because I didn't own it, a lot of it kind of recycled into other stuff that I'm working on, so it kind of, cannibalized it and it became something else, so hopefully something will come of it, eventually we'll be able to put something together, but yeah.
So do you ever throw parties, get people to fundraise money here? What are some of the strategies you guys do?
Well, a lot of it's, a lot of the old classic horror movies like, The Evil Dead or something like that. You hear these stories where they go to dentists and, surgeons and people who kind of they have no connection to the film industry, but they might want to add film producer to their business
Those are the people
card,
that love doing it the most. That have no connection to it. They're just this is fun because it's so much fun until you're in it.
So
that's the fun part.
And they get to tell that story to all the and obviously when they're horror movies, it's a little more complicated because that's not the normal.
And I love that you said a dentist because that's such a horrific experience for so many people. So that was a great
surgeons, dentists, grave diggers.
See, when you do a movie about them being the bad guys and they're like
we love it.
They that's really
Wouldn't
awesome.
that be great? There was a movie, I think it was from the 70s. It's called Marathon Man, where the villain was a dentist, and that guy apparently got he said every time he went to the dentist, they're like, oh, you wrote that movie with the dentist. Okay, interesting. They weren't happy with him, but we'll see. We'll see what happens to me. But yeah, that's the idea. Generally, is trying to fundraise off of people who may not have had that experience, especially locally, because there's so many people. There's it's not exactly crawling with film producers or people with who've done it before. So. We're kind of approaching a lot of people who this would be the first time that they would have contributed money to a film, and then I think it's just a cool thing for people to talk about. I'm a film producer. I'm a this, but I'm also a film producer. Check my LinkedIn. It's or whatever. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're going any which way we can though, with industry people, non-industry people, kind of just however it ends up working is how it works.
So are there any projects that we could see on YouTube and stuff?
I have a short film that I directed a couple years ago called Ride. It was in 2022, and it's kind of like a thriller horror movie. It was 6 minutes long. It's about this girl who is having a night out, and then she calls an Uber. Uber comes, she gets in the Uber, and then very quickly realizes that it's not the Uber.
I would see it. That sounds fun.
I'll send it to you, yeah. It's called Ride. It's, just a little Friday night movie. Pretty fun. But yeah, it's a good time.
All these ideas you ever just have so current too. You got the Uber driver, you got the influencers.
Yeah. I just love that stuff. I think it's really interesting,
how creepy day-to-day life is.
Yeah. Just modern life is so messed up, with the phones and social media and everything. It's just it's so complicated. And I think we're starting to see how some of that stuff is affecting us. So it's interesting to kind of, I like satire too, so I like to make fun of a lot of that stuff. And it's just I think horror and comedy go together so well that I
enjoy a lot of the comedy horror. I think it's
so
fun.
Perfect, yeah. And you need it in any horror movie. You just need that little, release every now and again. You can't be scared for 90 minutes straight. You have to laugh a little bit. You know what I mean? So it just goes so well together, and there's so much to make fun of, and so much to kind of mess around. I like weird little oddball stuff like that. So I like to contribute my strange sense of humor. So
it's so hard to make money as a filmmaker, though. We always have to have all these other multiple streams of income. What are some of the jobs that you've had? Because I know you bartend at some cool places and did some cool things.
A lot of. I mean, I've kind of done as many as whatever you can think of. I've worked at a grocery store. I worked at restaurants, bartended, bussed, served. I worked at a hotel doing room service. I was, you know, you go from one job to the other. I would start at the job I had in LA. I'd work bussing during the day from like 9 to 4, run across town 5 to 11, work at the hotel, and that was like, you know, 5-6 days a week like that, and it was just it was insane. But it's like it's what you got to do when you live in LA too, just to keep the lights on. So
now things are a little bit calmed down. They're a little more mellow.
A little bit, not as much as you might think, but it's it's all right. You got to keep yourself afloat. You got to, and then you have to kind of have a million projects at any given time because any one of them could go or not go. So like, I have the short film, I have the feature, I'm writing another feature, because you also just have to keep the creative juices flowing, you got to kind of, whether you're acting in something, doing that, or whether you're writing something, it's just got to flex all the muscles.
Well, it was funny because like I used to say yes to everything. Well, back when everything was like booming and there was like a project.
All the time, yeah.
And then my friend would be like, well, I said yes to this and this is at the same time, so I can't say it. And they say, you say yes, sir. I said, oh, don't worry, one of them's going to fall
apart.
Get delayed, fall apart,
Absolutely.
never happen or happen later. And sure enough, I mean, I never overlapped. I mean, other things, but yeah, the projects for the most part, I mean, I'm sure sometimes there could be, but it's like, I'll take my chances. There's not going to be a conflict on this one.
Yeah. You just got to say yes to stuff too. You just got to be doing stuff.
Yeah. So. My friend that would say, no, I had this, and he was mad because like that project didn't happen at the time. They said, I was like, hello, you've been in this.
Yeah,
I think you're in that industry longer than I have been. So I was kind of like, what do you know how this works?
Yeah. And you're always doing stuff. Like, I follow you on social media. You're always posting. Obviously you do this all the time, but like you're always acting and stuff. You're
always doing stuff. I feel like you're.
I try,
And you have kids you're chasing around.
Yeah.
Tell us about what are your kids like?
I got 2 kids under 5. I got a 4-year-old just turned 4 last month, and I got a 1-year-old as of a week ago. He turned 1.
You're a brand new.
Got 2 little ones. Yeah.
Why didn't you bring the baby?
I should have brought him along.
Wait, I thought your birthday was like last week.
No, my boy's birthday, my youngest birthday. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so were they born really close together then?
They were born, well, one's May and one's June, but yeah, one's 4.
That's what I'm saying. They're very close because that's what I'm like, oh, wow.
And they were both preemies too. They were both early. So they both would have been like, I think they would have both been born late July or something, but they were both preemies.
So their birthdays are like going to be very wow.
Yeah, so and of course, I don't know if you have, I feel like everybody has like a month where there's like a million birthdays, a million holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. May and June is just insane for us. It's just, there's like, I think between those 2 months, there's 6 birthdays in our immediate family friend group. And then there's Mother's Day, there's all these Father's Day, all these holidays too. So it's just like, it's insane. No rest for the wicked.
I wish you would have brought the newborn here.
I should have brought him.
That would have definitely stole the show. But
that's true.
Like,
Next time.
But oh my gosh, wow, that's so exciting. Well, thanks for making time for us after becoming a new.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Okay, so how are we going to get to see these films? Like to be a part of them, if we want to, fundraise for like help.
Yeah.
Throw in.
Well, right now, I mean, we don't really have any live campaigns right now. We're not. We don't have Indiegogo or any of those going on right now. So we're kind of just talking to people, getting kind of pledges, commitments kind of thing. People can follow me on Instagram.
And then Instagram, you're just telling us a little bit about the process. Like, we'll start filming in like.
Yeah, so we're hoping to. It depends on where kind of the bulk of the money's coming from. If it's coming from LA, we'll look in maybe filming in LA. I would love to shoot here in Fresno.
I think it'd be cheaper to shoot here in Fresno, especially a horror movie. I mean, we're just a perfect place for that sort of thing.
Yeah. And it's a feature. We're doing it for under. We're hoping to do it under $400,000. We're looking at $300,000 to $350,000.
And you've never filmed a full feature.
Never shot a feature.
No. Oh my
I've been writing them since I was 16. I'm 31, so I've written, I think, maybe
I know some friends that have gotten them done really quickly, though. So I'm always amazed.
I hear these stories. I'm like, where are you? How do you do this? How are you making this happen? But yeah, so we're. and it's where I think right now is such a good time to do that kind of budget level too, or like the low budget stuff, because like Obsession, everybody's talking about this movie. It was made for $750,000, something like that, and did it break 300 million? I think it's the most profitable from the budget to the gross. I think it's the most profitable film ever made.
Almost like the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, exactly. Or like Paranormal Activity, or there's like all these great stories of these like ultra low budget cheap movies that people shoot in completely outside of Hollywood.
So you think you could be scary enough?
I think so. I think so.
Okay, so what's your Instagram? How do we follow you?
Instagram is probably the best place. Going to be my name, Jake Keating 14, Jake.
It's such an actor name.
Is it?
I don't know.
love
The way
that.
you just said it was right
Jake
now. It's like.
Yeah. JakeKeating 14, Jake Keating 14. I think it's on it's on private, but.
Are you on Facebook too?
I'm on Facebook as well, just under that, yeah.
So anybody that wants to help in any way can reach out because I mean, you know, you're gonna need everybody from
absolutely.
like, you know,
it takes the form.
the grips to this to that, and I know a lot of eager people here. I have a lot of nice filmmakers that are always like, I just want to be a part of it.
That's what I want. That's why I want to do it here so badly because I know that there's such a great community of artists and actors and people behind the scenes, crew guys that are all ready to go, want to do stuff, want to do cool stuff. So, like, I mean, I want to be able to, and there are, you know, there's a lot of great writers, but I know I've got a really good script here, and I've got a really good story. Got a couple of interesting. I can't talk about who is involved in it because we don't have the money to pay them yet.
You have some good people that have interest in it.
Very cool people.
That's really cool. I'm glad.
Former kind of Disney, Nickelodeon stars that we're talking to that are interested in doing it. Got some horror icons that I can't name, but you would know.
I like that. That's really cool that you have a lot of people. That means it's really good. I'd love to see.
Yeah, got some great crew. Got good people working on it, ready to go. So as soon as we can kind of get it together, we can really make it happen and hit the ground running. It's a moving train. That's what I always tell people. It's like I got the storyboards are pretty much drawn, shot lists. We got the cinematographers on board. All these actors are interested. It's just like. We're just waiting to go at this point. So I'm really looking forward to it. I would love to do it this year, but it's kind of just whenever we can make it happen.
Well, all that I ask is that you keep in consideration the whole Fresno heat and cold because it was very cold when I shot that movie with you.
That's right. Yes. The only time it was cold, and
the only time that was cold. That was good times.
That was a good time. Yeah, a couple of good times. Took a little while.
I know, that was fun. And that was great when you can and you seem like you'll make a movie fun.
Yeah, I think so. I think I want to be, I love being on set. I love hanging out with people. And I've never been, other than the short film, never been, the top of the list, top of the pile as the director. So it would be fun to set that tone to, because I like to goof off. I like having fun. I like joking around. So I just think from the top down, that's a good way to be creative because then everybody kind of just gets to have fun, and you do your best stuff when you're having fun. When you relax, and everybody can just hang out and chill and feel like everybody's involved in making this cool thing together.
Well, thank you so much for coming on my show today. You have to come back, especially when these things pop up and come out. I'd love to definitely see the progress on it.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you so much.
Authorities have issued a notice of caution about the use of online rideshare apps in the wake of the brutal slayings by a serial misuser, what they are calling the Bay City Slayer, and are asking the community's help in reporting any suspicious activity as the investigation develops. That's Los Angeles. You're hanging with Dog and Billy D on KWRX. Coming to you live from Hollywood, California. This heat wave may not be letting up, but doesn't mean the Bay City Slayer is. Keep an eye on the skies and an ear to the sand as you surf through the next sound from the Pacific Northwest. He may be a burst from the future, but here's a blast from the past. Coming to you live with the Pixies on KWRX.
With your feet in the air and your head on the ground. Try this trick and spin, yeah. Your head'll collapse, but there's nothing in it, and you'll ask yourself.
Okay. So, how's your night so far?
Terrible, horrible boogeyman. I come in the middle of the night, right? Bad little girls like you. Beware, you have a care. I'm going to follow you everywhere. I crawl through the ceiling and the wall and call on bad little girls like you. I'll torture you and haunt you. I've got you.
It's just gonna be a left up here.
I've got you where I want you.
It's gonna be a left.
And at the slightest whim, I'll tear you limb from limb. Get out the words and put you on the spot.
My friend just texted me, and we're actually gonna go to another bar, so you can just let me out anywhere up here.
Before I kill you, I'm gonna cut out your tongue. That way you can't lie to me anymore, okay? You wanna call the police? Listen.
WRX. After the ear-splitting, heart-pounding, blood-curdling rush of rock, our time here is coming to a close. And we're reminding you to stay safe out there. Bay City Slayer could be hiding around any corner, so don't fall prey. But to ease your mind and say goodnight, let the raging sounds of rock and roll scream you to sleep. Coming to you live from KWRX.
Summertime, it felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh I must confess dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.
It's a mystery.
Hi, I'm Sparkle Sujan, and I am the host of the Everything Sparkle Show. I would like to invite you to come and hang out with me every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, as I interview the world one guest at a time. Everything Sparkle is available on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and CMAC.tv. Plus, if you're in the Central California area, you can watch on Comcast Xfinity Channel 93 or AT&T UVerse Channel 99. Hope to